Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Bounce Opinion Sports Podcast with your guy, the host with the most man with the plan, Yawa, King ECG, and Manila.
Go with your boy Da Vinci. Start with the ego, feed the soul.
So, today, before we get into these playoff games, game one, let's talk about the elephant in the room, ladies and gentlemen. Kyrie talks about the fans in Boston. I didn't put Boston there. Gotta let y'all know he's talking about the fans in Boston, just so you know. And guess what? I got a clip for y'all. Check this out.
And it looked like there were a couple times where you gave the fans the finger. I'm curious, was there anything that you thought crossed the line today, and are you the kind of guy that gets motivated by kind of going back and forth with the fans? Do you kind of use that internally as something to fire you up?
Look, I'm just where I'm from. I'm used to all these antics and people being close nearby. It's nothing new when I come into this building, what it's going to be like, but it's the same energy they have for me, and I'm going to have the same energy for them. And it's not every fan. I don't want to attack every fan, every Boston fan, but, when people start yelling pussy and bitch and fuck you and all this stuff, it's but so much you can take as a competitor. And, we're the ones expected to be docile and be humble and take a humble approach. Nah, fuck that. It's the playoffs. This is what it is. I know what to expect in here, and it's the same energy I'm giving back to them. It is what it is. I'm not really focused on it. It's fun. You know what I'm saying? And like again, where I'm from, I've dealt with so much. So coming in here, you relish it as a competitor. And this is, I'm going to keep repeating myself when I say again, but this isn't my first time in TD Garden. So what you guys saw and what you guys think is as entertainment, or the fans think is entertainment, all is fair in competition. So if somebody's gonna call me out of my name, I'm gonna look at them straight in the eye and see if they really bout it. Most of the time, they're not.
Kyrie, to that point, do you feel like the hostility that you get still?
Let's not focus on this. Like, ask me questions about the game. Like, it's not about the fans. The fans aren't playing.
From a basketball standpoint,
yeah.
Do you feel like the hostility you get?
There's no hostility, bro. It's basketball.
Well, you were flicking some people off. I'd say that's some hostility.
From what? What point? Are you guessing that that's hostility, or like hostility for me is like growing up?
Well, we've never seen that from you this season, where you are running down the floor flicking people off.
It's the first time you actually caught it, because it's a big-time game. I respond in different ways. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to focus on that. If you want to ask me questions about the fans, go ask them. Go on the street and ask them questions, all right?
But I'm asking from your perspective, from a basketball perspective, do you feel like the hostility that you get?
It's not hostility, bro.
Do you feel like the energy you get from fans in this building
embrace it?
The best from you.
Embrace it.
So, Kyrie states the facts. You know what I mean? We've been talking about this ourselves, and I've been in a couple personal groups where, like, we're talking about sports, and, especially since Haskins died, we've had conversations like, us as fans, analysts, all that stuff. We've got to watch how we talk to or about players, because they're human beings too. You know what I'm saying? So everything Kyrie did, super validated. I'm not saying we're making this a big deal, but I definitely understand why Kyrie was like, F out of here.
Hey, listen, you're right. We've had this conversation multiple times. And this is one of these things that really gets me upset. Because for me, when these guys do this and they check these people and get back at these people, they end up getting fined. So what's the message there you sending? These guys getting fined, and you said it's okay for you. You can pay money and you can come in here because you pay money. You think you have the damn right, King, to talk whatever you want to talk or say whatever you want to say. And he's a human being like you, and he's supposed to just take it.
Charles Barkley and them were saying it on TNT. Oh, it's just this part of the game. People are gonna, but come on, like, it's gotten worse now.
Charles Barkley should be the last guy saying that. I think he's being a hypocrite.
I feel you, but remember, we're not too far removed from fans in Boston throwing bottles at him, right?
Yeah.
Remember last year when they eliminated him?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
No.
Trey Young getting spat on. So like, this is a bigger thing than Boston.
Yeah,
That's
it
why I
is.
didn't put Boston in this. You know what I mean? Kyrie talks about the fans because it's
Mhm.
the fans. It don't matter where you go. He
Mhm.
stated himself. He said, "I'm not talking about all Boston fans. It's just some of them. It's the same thing. Utah, the same thing. They need to figure a way to stop these people from saying these ridiculous things because it's true. The
Yeah.
same stuff that they would say to them typing up on a computer or behind a screen, or
Yo,
they're not going to say to them in their face on the road. Oh,
and
they
the
wait
thing
till they
though,
get into these gyms and start talking reckless.
you have seen this, and you have seen it and been to a lot of street games or just like in the gym games, or games with rowdy people, rowdy guys. And guess what? They never cross the line. They might trash talk, and they'll trash talk you the whole game, right? He's like, you
Yeah,
can't make that shot. You ain't got that. You ain't trash. But they ain't gonna come with no ridiculous stuff. Because some of these NBA fans, they come with some very degrading stuff,
yeah.
right?
But even in street ball, there's consequences to your actions. You can't sit there and talk reckless and expect somebody to sit there and take it the whole time. Eventually, one or two things is gonna happen. The game's gonna be done because other people are gonna get heated and say, "Yo, we're done with this," or they're gonna pop off on you, and the game's really done because now everybody's squabbling. So, my message to the fans on this situation: shut up. Don't don't be talking crazy to somebody the way you feel like, knowing that if you were outside and there was no security and it was just you and them walking down the street and you bumped into
Hmm.
them and said what you said, they'd probably slap six sets of flames out of you. You know what I mean? There's
So,
no reason for that.
so here is where the bullshit comes, and this is where people tend to not look at it. So somebody's working, and I walk into his place of work, and I'm gonna go there and go sit and talk all this crazy stuff to him. Am I not gonna get in trouble?
You should.
Absolutely. Right? And it should not be allowed. You cannot go to a place, that's his work. That's his job. He's doing his damn job. He shouldn't have to be king. He shouldn't have to be dealing with his job, and he have to dealing with people. And I don't want to hear this goddamn thing. It's a part of the game. Get that crap out of here, man. He's a human being. You're gonna be saying all these crazy words to him nonstop, multiple people,
You know
and
what I
he's
don't
not.
understand? You know what? Sorry for cutting you off, sir. You know what I don't understand? You look at the days Reggie Miller in the Garden. He probably heard some semi-foul stuff, but it
Mhm.
was never to the point where, like, you know what I mean? He didn't turn around and give nobody the bird. He was
Yeah.
doing this. He
Mhm.
was doing, you know what I mean? Sam Cassell with the big, like, yet again. I think us as fans were too entitled.
Yeah. True, man.
I spend $1,000. I did this.
Mhm.
I'm supporting your career. Yeah, you are, but it don't mean you need to degrade this. And they don't have to accept it either. That's another thing. Like, they really don't have to accept it at all.
But your king. This is what my problem. This is my problem with the NBA. The
Yeah,
NBA is just supposed to say, "Oh, you're just supposed to take it because the fans and they paid their money and blah blah blah." You're supposed to just take their disrespect, take all their disgusting words towards you. Some of them, a lot of time, racial words and racial slurs.
yeah,
Right? Let's be real here. We're not. Let's not bypass the subject. A
yeah,
lot of time, these guys got to go through that.
exactly. You
Right?
know what I mean?
You have seen Booker fire back. You have seen KD fire back at these guys, and now these guys end up getting fined. These guys getting fined, but hey, a fan might get kicked out, and guess what? He might not get kicked out, and in the next game he can come back.
And you
Hmm?
know what? You know what most of their stuff is? They're role models. Well, they're also humans too.
Oh,
I,
listen,
I don't I don't know too many people that are going to a role model's movie set or role model's place of business
mhm.
and degrading them because the service that they got one time or the way they feel about the place.
Okay,
And they're
so
still allowed to sit inside that establishment and do that. I don't see people, I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't know. But listen,
and then here is where you got the bullshit part too. Is you sit there and you see these people saying all these nasty things to them, and guess what? these people that are saying these nasty things to them, sometimes their goddamn kids is behind them, or somebody else's kids is right next to them, right?
Saying the
Okay,
same ish.
right? And then the NBA player turns around and says something back to him. Now he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Listen, this one I really find I hate it, and I think the NBA needs to fix it. And I'm pretty sure Kyrie Irving is gonna get fined, and I think that's a
Yeah,
bunch of
probably like
BS.
50,000.
Yeah, I think that's a bunch of BS.
It is. It is what it is, man. But anyways, y'all let us know what y'all think in the comments below. You think Kyrie was right? Or do you think Kyrie should be more professional and not do that? I don't know.
Or do you
You be
think
the
all? Or
judge.
do you think all these players should start doing what Kyrie did, KD did, and Booker did? Like clap back, clap back, defend yourself. Doesn't matter. Just because they pay money to sit in their seats doesn't give them the right to say all these words to you. It doesn't. That's not part of the. It's not part of the gig.
Right?
You pay your money to sit and watch them perform. That's it.
Yeah,
That's where it should end at.
exactly. But anyways, it's your boy, the host of the most man with the plan, the hour, KECG, and Manila.
It's your boy, Evan. You start with ego feet.